Hello everyone. We are talking about a popular dessert in China, Tangyuan, glutinous rice balls with fillings. Traditionally speaking, we have Tangyuan on the festival called Yuanxiaojie, that is the Lantern Festival, on which families would gather together to celebrate the first full moon of the Chinese New Year. That is why we have Tangyuan, because of its shape that is similar to the moon and symbolic of family reunion, perfection, and happiness. Of course, we love Tangyuan because it's sweet, but in certain parts of the south, people would prefer savory ones with minced pork as the filling. So which one do you prefer, sweet ones or savory ones? You may find out the answer when you visit China. Now, I would like to show you how to make sweet Tangyuan based on a family recipe. My mother makes the most delicious Tangyuan in the world, well, at least for me. You can use a food processor, grind and mix all of them up, and then divide it into sections and turn them into these balls. Apart from the black sesame seeds that are commonly used, my mother also uses Chinese dates, goji berries, walnuts, peanuts, raisins, dried citrus peel, rock sugar, and lard. Of course, you can replace it with butter and vegetable oil. Let's dress these little cuties in a white coat. For that, we'll need glutinous rice flour, pour some flour in a large bowl. Now we add some water into the flour. Mix it up. Doesn't matter, you can try a lot of times. Now knead the dough until it's smooth. Pay attention, this dough is different from the dough made of wheat flour. So it doesn't stretch much and it's easy to break. Now divide the dough evenly. Now press it with your fingers until it's like this, flat. It doesn't matter whether the shape is round or regular, as long as it's big enough to put inside the filling. But pay attention, don't make it too thin or too thick. Now, work your fingers gently to wrap it up. Press it a little bit hard to make sure that there's no air inside. Roll the ball gently between your two palms. Sometimes you find a crack appears on the surface because, as I said earlier, the dough is easy to crack. But don't panic. Whenever there is a crack, just dip your finger in the water and then tap the surface slightly. Now you see the crack heals like magic, right? Okay. We have a nice tangyuan here. Repeat this process . Now we can cook them. Boil some water. Place the tangyuan lightly into the water. Be careful. Stir the water up a little bit in case they stick to the bottom. And now we wait. In about 5 minutes, when these balls float up to the surface of the water, then it's ready. Now, as a final touch, you may add some goji berries in the soup. So now you can enjoy your Chinese tangyuan. Now let's take a look at the inside. It's sweet and yummy on the inside, chewy and slippery on the outside. A very unique flavor.
Tang means soup. Yuan means round or balls. But do you know when the Chinese people started to eat tangyuan? How many types of tangyuan are there in China? Why is there a debate about the flavor of tangyuan? And finally, why do the Chinese love Tangyuan so much? Here are some interesting facts that I'd like to share with you. In the following presentation, I'll explain about the history of Tangyuan, the major methods of making it, and different types and variations, and lastly, its cultural significance. So when did Tangyuan start? Well, there are many beliefs about its origin. Some say it could be traced back to more than 2,000 years ago. But according to the most widely accepted record, Tangyuan had probably become a thing during the Song dynasty, that is, roughly 1,000 years ago. At that time, it was called Fu Yuan Zi, literally floating balls. The sight of the white balls going up and down in boiling water must have been fun and lovely for the foodies back then. So Tangyuan soon went viral all over the country. A few hundred years later, the name was officially settled as Yuanxiao, because by then the custom had been established of eating the rice balls on the Lantern Festival, Yuanxiaojie. Here, Yuanxiao means fast evening, because it is the first full moon after the Chinese New Year. Nowadays, the name Yuanxiao is still used in the north of the country, while Tangyuan or Tangtuan is used in the south. So how did the name Tangyuan come into being? Well, there's an interesting anecdote about the shift of the name. It's said that when Yuan Zhikai, the first president of the Republic of China, came to power in 1912, he disliked the name Yuanxiao because it sounded identical to remove Yuan from power. And so he gave orders to change the name to Tangyuan, meaning soup balls. The North and the South do not only disagree about the name of the snack, they also differ in how to make it. From the picture here, you can find a slight difference in the appearance of the two. That is, if you look hard enough, you will see the white balls on the left, that is, the ones called yuanxiao, are less smooth on the surface. This difference is caused by the different ways of creating the white skin. In the north, yuanxiao is made by rolling. First of all, the sweet paste that is made of sesame seeds or red beans is cut into cubes and placed into a bamboo basket filled with glutinous rice flour. Then the maker starts rolling them around while continually sprinkling water on them so that the flour sticks onto the paste. So by and by, the small cubes virtually snowball into much bigger, heavily coated balls. Created in this manner, the skin of yuanxiao tends to be dry and uneven. In the south, however, Tangyuan is made by wrapping. As I've shown in the video, the glutinous rice flour is mixed up with water, and then dough is kneaded and cut and pressed into wrappers. Each filling is coated with an individual wrapper. That's why the surface of tangyuan is more moist and smooth than that of yuanxiao. And because it's much thinner and contains more water, it takes a shorter time to cook, usually 5 minutes, while yuanxiao normally takes about 10 minutes. But the difference does not stop there. For most northerners in China, tangyuan is and can only be sweet. But for many southerners, especially those from Jiangsu, Zhejiang, and Guangdong, tangyuan could also be savory with meat and vegetable fillings. However, this flavor is totally unacceptable for most northerners. As a result, Chinese netizens often argue heatedly online whether tangyuan should be sweet or savory. Actually, nobody can win this debate, I think. Don't you think so? It's just natural that different regions may develop different preferences. As a matter of fact, a survey across the country shows that tangyuan comes in many different kinds, depending on the filling, wrapping, and serving. For those who prefer sweet tangyuan, grounded black sesame seeds blended with sugar and lard are the most favorite fillings. For me, and many other Chinese around the globe, the runny sesame filling that comes out with the first bite composes the most unforgettable childhood memory about tangyuan. Apart from sesame, other sweet fillings may be made up of various combinations of red beans, lotus seeds, peanuts, walnuts, rose petals, osmanthus flowers, or even fruits. Nowadays, chocolate or mocha fillings are quite in fashion, as modern China absorbs more international tastes. For savory tangyuan, there is also a wide choice of fillings, including minced meat, vegetables, and even seafood. In Xinyi, Guizhou, for instance, chicken tangyuan has a history of over 100 years. While most tangyuan have fillings, there is also a kind of tangyuan that has no filling at all. It's usually much smaller in size and served in sweet soup, either alone or together with stuffed tangyuan. Apart from the fillings, Chinese people also show a great creativity in the wrapping of tangyuan. By adding vegetable or fruit juice like dragon fruit juice or pumpkin juice into the flour, many different colors can be cooked up. The shape of tangyuan is another area for innovation. Here, for example, we've got panda tangyuan and cat's paws tangyuan. Well, here are some more challenging tangyuan. Normally, tangyuan is round and ball-like. But in the pictures here, you can see some oval ones with tiny tails. Or triangular tangyuan that looks like a haystack or a medieval soldier in armor. This very special type of tangyuan is made in Zhenxiong, a county in Yunnan, the south of China. Equally, there is a huge variety in terms of the manner that tangyuan is served. The most popular way, I guess, would be to serve it in a sweet soup of fermented rice with or without osmanthus jam and eggs. Another favorite choice is sweet soup made of red beans. But the most amazing and challenging one must be the hot and spicy soup for savory tangyuan, which is quite trendy nowadays in Sichuan, the hometown of the hot pot. Finally, apart from boiled tangyuan, deep-fried ones are also much enjoyed, especially among the Chinese people, the young Chinese. Now, I bet your mouth must be watering after seeing so many types of tangyuan. It shows how popular this food is in China. But why do the Chinese love it so much? Well, first of all, it's definitely because it's yummy. Whether sweet or savory, tangyuan is delicious. Secondly, I think it's because of its connection with the Lantern Festival, 元宵节. Here, the last character, 节, means festival. Previously, we've explained the first two characters, 元宵. 元 means the first, the beginning, and 宵 means the evening, the night. So it's the festival that celebrates the first evening of the full moon. This festival falls on the 15th day of the first month on the Chinese lunar calendar and marks the end of more than 2 weeks of Chinese New Year celebrations. So for many Chinese, the Lantern Festival is perhaps no less important than the Spring Festival because it's the final chance for fun before the whole year's work starts officially. In ancient China, the Lantern Festival was perhaps the first real carnival open to everyone, when all individuals, regardless of their age, gender, class, or ethnicity, could go out and have fun in public places. For example, 观花灯, admiring colorful lanterns, is one of the traditional ways of celebrating the festival. Here, the first character, 观, means to watch, to look. And 花 means colorful. 灯, it means lanterns or lamps, lights. From the past to the present, Chinese people have loved to attend lantern shows and parades held in cities and villages alike, where lanterns of various colors, patterns, and styles are on display. When darkness falls, people would go outside with their own lanterns and join their friends in watching the shows. You could imagine what a fantastic sight it must be like. In the past, it could have been a more magnificent view for the ancient Chinese people, considering the fact that the usually dark streets would be now on blaze right until dawn. It was a great occasion for fun and freedom where people mingled together, whether men or women, officials or commoners. It was also a great occasion for lovers and singles. In old China, young ladies were not allowed to go out freely except at the time of the Lantern Festival. It was once customary for single people to carry lit lanterns on the streets in hope of finding their true love. With the beautiful full moon and fancy lanterns, the Lantern Festival was romantic enough to be an opportunity for young people to meet their lovers. That's why the festival is also known as the Chinese Valentine's Day, 情人节. The first two characters, 情人, refers to lovers, and 节, means festival. As time passed, however, the festival no longer has such an emphasis on romance, but still, we Chinese enjoy it a lot. Another popular activity on the festival is to guess lantern riddles. In Chinese, 猜灯谜. The first character, 猜, means to guess, and 灯 means lanterns or lights. The last one, 谜, refers to riddles. The lantern riddles are usually written on lanterns or on slips of paper attached to the lanterns. They often contain messages of wisdom and good fortune, and give children and others of all ages an opportunity to have fun while practicing language and problem-solving skills. Many classic riddles refers to Chinese characters, idioms, historical figures, literary references, household objects, or names of famous places. The riddles could be very hard, for they often play on the multiple meanings of the words and phrases. A tip may be provided so as to indicate whether the answer is a person, place, thing, or rule. Here I'd like to give you one example. Sometimes it's curved like a smile. Other times it's round like a plate. Hint for you, something in space. So, what is it? Yes, the answer is the moon. Congratulations. It's not that hard, right? Among other festival activities, there is also dragon lantern dancing called 耍龙灯. 耍 means to play with. 龙, dragon, and 灯, lantern. So, to play with dragon lanterns. Another activity is 踩高跷, stilt walking. 踩 means to step on, to walk on, and 高跷 means stilts. Both activities are highly entertaining and challenging. And of course, the most popular activity is to eat tangyuan. That is 吃元宵. 吃 means to eat. I guess you know about this one, right? And 元宵 refers to the glutinous rice balls with fillings. But do you wonder why the Chinese eat tangyuan on this particular day? Well, I think it's because of the shape. The festival celebrates the full moon, and tangyuan is round like the moon. And another famous Chinese festival that also celebrates the full moon, we eat something else that is also shaped like the moon. Do you remember what it is? Yes, it's the moon cake. You see, the Chinese have a habit of creating what they eat based on what they celebrate. The full moon stands for perfection and union in the Chinese imagination. So by eating the moon-like delicacies, we are wishing for a perfect life with a united family. In China, there is one famous saying, 阖家团圆. We use this phrase in wishes and greetings. We are family when we are together. 和 means together. 家 family, home. 团 united. 圆 in a circle. And you see here, the yuan is the same as the yuan in Tangyuan. So this is what we Chinese wish for when we have Tangyuan. One thing that is different today in China is that you don't have to wait until the Lantern Festival to have Tangyuan. Instead, you can eat it any day you like because it's sold in every supermarket. But whenever or wherever we have it, our wish is perhaps never changed. That is, the wish for a happy life with our loved ones. So guys, when you visit China, please don't forget to try Tangyuan if you want to know how the Chinese understand the family. Thank you very much for listening. Do you have any questions? If you do, you're welcome to raise them after the lecture.